down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
All right, bang, bang. You tuned in to the Savvy Radio Show. Hey, this is your boy VanCauwenbergh trying to bring light in the dark world of entrepreneur real estate hustle. And I am slowly but surely never leaving. Always being on the airwaves and bringing it hard and fast so you can get on with your life, which is hard, and some think it's fast. Anyway, I've been dealing with, with a lot of friends about being in business, how to sell a business. Should you be in business? Certain people are business. I always think of Jim Rohn. If you don't study Jim Rohn, you should start studying Jim Rohn. It's R-O-H-N. And some people get it, some people don't. Jesus went and spoke to the masses. Some got it, some didn't. And then some followed and some didn't. And so you got to just think about that, about society, that you're not created. If you're listening to this podcast, you're not created like anybody else. You have a special gift. Most people are just kind of just going through life, playing video games and having belief that their employer is going to take care of them. And, society has brainwashed us thinking that we can't do something for some weird reason. And I'm here to tell you today, bang, bang, you can own a business. Yep, you can run your own business, bang, bang. And yes, you can buy your own business. I don't know. Someone needs to hear that today. You can and you should. And I'm going to break it down and I'm going to try to crush everything that says that you can't, that you can. Now, if you don't know my background, anyway, I don't even know if I said my name. Hey, this is your boy, Steve VanCauwenbergh. And I'm just going to give you a quick about me and where I'm at, okay? So first of all, I was born in Dover, New Jersey, 1973. You do the math, you do the numbers. I just turned 45. Wow. I grew up there till roughly about 13, 14, I think somewhere around 14 years old. And then one day we did the Karate Kid. We moved to California to live with my dad that I never saw before, didn't know him. He's an interesting individual. I'm trying not to be negative because we already filled with the negativity of the world. Deadbeat comes to my mind. And he wasn't there for my mom. My mom worked 3 jobs. My brother went to a foster home. I had everything and every reason to say, I'm bad. My life is going to be terrible. Society sucks. And then I went to a special school because I got in trouble and I was behind in reading. From there, and then I went to California. And then in California, it was okay. We lived in San Diego for a minute, and then we moved up to the East Bay, and I came to know Christ. My life changed because I had hope, I had purpose, and I'm going to tell you right now, I went through that whole experience through life, 18, clueless, okay? Then from 18, I came to know him, and then I went to this school called Oklahoma Baptist University, just barely knew Jesus, who that character was. And then I went to college, okay? I barely got into that deal. My youth minister had to write a letter because I was such an illiterate. My SAT scores were so bad that please take this young man. So then I'm in college, struggling just to make it. The number one thing I remember of college is every once in a while I get this letter in my mailbox. Email wasn't so prevalent back then. If you do not pay your bill, matriculate, some fancy word to say you're a deadbeat, you are unable to take your finals. I don't know about you, but someone that's behind in reading struggles, and they're telling me I already have a job, but if I don't pay this bill by this date and study, you're not going to be able to take your finals. And so, man, I'm telling you right now, my self-esteem was as lippity-lip, and the businesses and where I'm at today, it never came into fruition in my mind. I just felt that I was unsuccessful. But I knew that there's a better way. There was a big, deep desire in my heart. And I was talking to my homeboy this morning about it, that where did this desire come from? I said, I don't want to be broke no more. My mom struggled her whole life. The thing is, my mom struggled her whole life. And when I realized is the level of maturity where I am, she struggled for me. She sacrificed for me. But, my driving force wasn't to be successful because I can buy a Lamborghini, or I could say I'm a business owner. Simple goal was I didn't want to be broke. I was tired of being poor. We didn't have Christmases. We didn't have things. Now, the cool thing about that, and what I'm trying to translate to my children, is you had to figure out how to get those things. It's not that I don't have it or I can't. It's just how can I? And I learned at a young age that I wanted a Nintendo, and how can I get that Nintendo? And I would have to hustle, and not hustle in a legal way, but hustle like, man, I could sell this for this to do this to get that. And until this day, 45 years later, or whatever that time frame was, I'm doing that today. But I'm here to tell you today, I know that's a weird intro, so I want to set the stage right now that it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter if you can spell words like entrepreneur. It don't matter. It doesn't matter where you came from. It's where you're going. That's really matters. And that whoever told you in your mind that you cannot own a business, that's a fallacy. You can't run a business, that's a lie. And you can't buy a business because you got no money, that's dumb. Because you can. And I'm going to tell you something, you can. And I'm telling you, I'm Steve VanCauwenbergh, Oklahoma City, doing it big, led the way, leading you right now that you can do that. Do not let self-doubt tell you. Now remember, I was in college. I didn't get no degree. Okay. And I'm telling you, I love this thing called personalities, but I did it. Okay. And what is success to me is not success to somebody else. Success to somebody else could be a Mercedes. For me, a Mercedes is a liability. That's just not what I want. I only want to buy things. That's right. Me. That make me money. I just buy assets. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was the defining moment in my world. And that's the basis on this whole thing. You can do this, right? I'm an uneducated person, dropped out of college. Actually, at that time I was in college. I went homeless because I had to drop out because I couldn't pay for my bill. So I decided to join the Army. The Army tried to jerk me around. I got back to Oklahoma. It's a long story. I'd love to tell you sometime over some, maybe on Margarita or one or two. So there's a point in my time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, I was lower than you are low right now. If you have an iPhone, I was lower than you. I didn't have no iPhone or an audio device. I was homeless. I had nothing. I lived on this dude's couch, and here I am today, 100-something units. Okay? I'm not telling you this to make myself look good. I'm telling you this, that you need to hear this, that you can do this. You can do whatever you want to do. You just have to believe that you can do it. Now, I would never knew the dreams that I had where I just wanted to own a business. And I was tired of living in an apartment. That was my simple goals, right? I lived in an apartment, a one-bedroom apartment my whole life. My mom lived in the living room. I lived in the bedroom. I could never have friends over. I never understood that until later in life. And I realized my mom was ashamed that someone would come over and see where she slept. But my mom was never home anyway, so I never understood because she worked 3 jobs. So I was just an angry little uneducated little punk little kid. But that was my only dream, just to live in a crib. And then during that process, I would love to own. I would drive by buildings and I would see people's companies' names on buildings. And I'm like, wow, one day I would like to have that. That was it, right? So my first goal came into fruition. It was about 1996. And 2 of my homeboys, musicians / engineers, we bucked up on the south side of Oklahoma City for $350 a month, living in a house. I'm telling you, it was a day changer, a life changer for me. Wow, $350. You could live in a house. I lived in a house. It was a 3-bedroom one. It was a converted garage on the Stoltz Drive in Oklahoma City. I remember vividly. I didn't even know what the word landlord was. I mean, this is crazy. I didn't even know what a landlord. This is not even 20 years ago. And he said, "You can own this house." I mean, he just said that to me like, for real. I had such a low self-esteem, such a lack of belief that I could own this structure, this thing. And remember, y'all, this is 1996, 7, somewhere around there, 1998, I think. And I was paying $350 a month. And he said, yeah, you could buy this house for $35,000. I'm like, wow, that was obtainable. $35,000 was a lot of money, but it was possible. Bang, bang. Well, through that process, it was a goal in my mind was to own a crib. And so I lived in a crib, wanted to own a crib. And then my other one was a business. So I've always was working on a side hustle. And that was my goals. Those were my driving. And then, as they say, it was history from there. So that's enough of me. Way too much talking about me. You want to know more about me, you could read about me in my book. I break it all down, called The Savvy Landlord. But you already knew that already, so there's no reason to go into all that mess. So I'm here to tell you can. First of all, you got to ask this question, why not? Why not? The super successful people, they didn't pop out of their womb, of their mama's womb, superstar. They had to learn. They had to fail. They started with a clean slate just like you. See, the interesting thing is like there's stories that I've read. Of course, reading is the number one thing I believe that my success, and I don't even believe I'm successful because I still have more to do. But that reading is the defining point, because I read a story, and it's actually the same story that I have a brother who's 6 years older than me. We came from the same mother. We grew up in the same house. The only difference is that my brother, around 12 years old, went to a foster home, and I was 9 years old, or somewhere around there, or so, I'm not sure the exact time. And he turned out, and he's losing his house right now. And it's just interesting, right? There's another story where two twins were born, and one went one direction. It's the choices that you make. Okay. If you want to own a business, run a business, buy a business, you have to tell yourself, I'm going to do this with regardless of what anyone tells me. And the world, I'm going to tell you right now, the world's going to say no. They're going to be jealous. They can't believe you. People hate me because, it's so funny. People hate me because I have to evict them. Wow. It's not like it's unclear, ladies and gentlemen. You go to Chili's and you steal a cheeseburger, meaning you don't pay the tab, you stole. If you don't pay your electricity bill, they shut you off, or your little Cox bill, right? Or you go pawn something and you don't get it back. You don't pay them back, you don't get it back. And that's the same scenario. If you don't pay your rent, I'm not malice, like, yo, I'm going to kick you out, like I get off. No, you cost us more money. We actually lose money, and we're bummed that we have to remove you. So you may hate me because I'm doing what I'm called to do, honor a contract. But that's on another episode. So here's the deal, man, or lady, or girl, or guy, or whatever you perceive to be. You could do whatever you want to do, for real. You need to hear that. I know I'm real slow on this podcast, but I just want you to marinate. Say, I like myself. I love myself. I can do this. You can do this. Now, what you got to have to do, you got to have perseverance. You got to be all in. You can't be half in on this deal. If you're going to make a commitment, now you can write the commitment, I'm going to own a business, and I'm telling you, you're not going to know how to do it. I don't know how to own a business. I don't know how to run a business, but I run several businesses. Do I fail every day? But here's another one. I have faith that I can do it. I believe in myself that I can do it. Number 3, I have accountability. What do you mean? I hang out with the right people. Effing friends, right? I was talking to homeboy the other day. You're the net worth of the 5 closest friends in your world. It's so interesting. I used to read this stuff 10, 15 years ago, and that stuff would just break me. Wow. I hang out with Timmy. He makes $8 an hour. I hang out with Joe. He makes $6 minimum wage. I hang out with Sam, and Sam only makes $5. You are the sum of the people that you hang out with. So the first thing you need to do, you need to get new friends. If the friends that are not in your world are not supporting you, and that may be your mom, get rid of them. Get out. Let me tell you something. I read this once. It's like you got to be so nutty about it. Back in war, in the war, World War I, World War II, that there's a story where they burn the bridges behind them. Like, look, we can't go back, so you're gonna kill these folks, or you're gonna be killed. That's the deal. You're going to quit your job, and I guarantee you're going to make it work. Now, there's been times where it's been horrible, man. This last couple of days, it's just been horrible. I've had some conflicts with some contractors. It's just been bad to the degree where I don't even cry. And this is the first time in a minute that I had to cry because someone else was crying because my general manager was crying. And she felt that she failed me. And I said, girl, you didn't fail me. That's just the nature of the beast. But what we're going to do is how we're going to pick up the pieces and want to keep going. I remember people would be, man, maybe he should more and more from my mom. Listen, it was terrible that my mom died, but there's nothing I can do about it. It's just real simple to me. I was broke up for a couple of days, but what can I do? I can't bring her back. So I have to keep going. There's going to be times in life you just have to keep going. You're going to have to, what's your dream? I'm telling you, I have no regrets. What's your goals? I have no regrets. You have to have a burning desire, and you have to be different. And let me tell you right now, you can't be average. You can't be average. People that make a difference in this world, they're average maybe on the outside. Maybe they wear a black shirt and jeans pulled up to the belly button and white New Balance. If you know who I'm talking about, text me. He may be average on the outside, but on the inside, he's a raging machine. He has a burning desire to be different. Do it for your family. I don't know what's your why. I don't want to get all into this, but the deal is you can do this. You must think that you can. You have to retrain your brain. So I'm having some issues with my daughter right now. And I don't know why, and I don't want to get into it. I mean, hey, the savvy's human, right? The savvy family life is not perfect. It seems I almost put this on Facebook the other day. It just seems glamorous. When I don't post on Facebook for a while, that's usually a sign, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going too great. Okay, that means I have to hunker down. I don't got time. I got to be reading more. I don't got time to be like, But we had some issues with our daughter, and it's been murder. She's been upset, and we realized that her brain has been trained wrong. She thinks that she could talk to me this way. She thinks that she can get everything that she wants. Some people say it's spoiled. Wow, I said it. And the real deal is we're in the process of retraining her brain. This is not how we do this. This is the way of the VanCauwenbergh way of doing things. And we are third. God first, others second, and I'm third. When you want to go out to dinner and we decide not to do that, there's no reason to get upset about it. This is what we do. We need to retrain your brain. That's what you need to do. No matter if you're 25 years old right now, you're going to have to think about it like this. That's 25 years of being trained the wrong way. And I'm telling you, it's a whole new belief system. If you really are jacked up with your belief system, I'm not talking about Christianity or Buddhism or Muslim. I don't give a rip about all that jazz. But I'm telling you, the United States school system has trained your brain in a different environment. And here's the situation. They haven't trained your brain how to make money. They haven't trained your brain how to be an entrepreneur. They have only trained your brain to be an employee to serve them so they can make money. That's just what it is. And if you don't believe me, I get it. Go to this website and read this book. And I'm telling you, you should start crying. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but he has a new book out called Fake Money, Fake Teachers, Fake Assets. Bam. I'm serious. You want to start off right. You want to get animal-ish. You want to go off-ish. You want to train your brain. You want to figure out where we're going wrong. You want to wow. Go to fake.richdad.com. Now, back on the episode here. Not number one. But the most important thing is that you got to get educated. That's the deal. If you want to own a business, you're just not educated on it. You want to go run, you got to learn how to run. Just like you want to ride a bike, you got to learn how to ride a bike. You fell off. It's just the same thing in business. It's like everything. You got to get educated. And I'm going to tell you something right now. There's no excuse. Back in the day when I was rolling, there wasn't seminars that I was aware of. There wasn't these amazing platforms like lynda.com and Udemy and resources that you can go to websites and get unlimited, or YouTube and get unlimited education. You just lazy. I wrote a goal this week. Hey, I'm going to spend 5 hours. What can I do? I actually told myself this week that the first week in October, I'm going to spend an hour a day working on my coaching aspect. For some weird reason, I'm having great success in this coaching thing, and I didn't understand it. I'm like, some people were like, wow, man, you changed my life. Or, wow, I made $30,000 last month. Or, wow, we bought 4 houses in 4 months. Or, wow, you helped me raise $90,000. And I'm like, man, this is just no big deal to me. These are just the way that I have failed. And I've just been helping people. Look, don't do that, because that don't work, because I tried that and I failed. And that brings me back to the accountability. That brings me back to friends. And that brings me back to education. If you don't want to hire a coach, that's cool. I'm not trying to sell you. The deal is get a friend, or get in the library, or get online and study. Now, a lot of things you might be thinking. Here's one right here. Lack of sales. Listen, you want to be wealthy? Bite the bullet. Go do it. Make a sale. I don't know if you know this, but your life depends on it, because it does. Your life depends on it. A lot of people don't realize that the world revolves around selling. Nothing happens unless a sale happens. Like, I had to sell my OG wife, my superstar. I had to tell her that I had to show her. I had to live it out for her that I'm amazing, that you need to marry me. I had to sell her. I have to sell my daughter today on we shouldn't be eating M&Ms every day, because the sugar doesn't do good. It gives us a temporary high. It's the white poison. And so I have to sell her. So when you look at sales is everything. Now, I'm telling you, when I started this thing, 1992 is when I said, man, my dream was to own a business. I'm going to start this company. And let me tell you what my first company name was. Don't clown me. It was GOD Productions, for real. I was a DJ. I called myself a Christian DJ. This is all whack. So I'm just giving you some insight to how uneducated I was in 1992. But I started this business called GOD Productions. God's grace, obey his word, deny the world. Now, back then I was kind of a Bible beater, okay? I was madly in love with Jesus. I lived 17 years of my world, and then he changed my world, and I was on fire. I'm still on fire for Jesus. I just look at it a little bit different now. But I remember vividly sitting in my dorm room, couldn't believe I was in Shawnee, Oklahoma, and I had a DJ this Saturday for a fraternity party. And I was nervous. And that's all, I'm telling you all, that's all I could think about for 5 days straight. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm like, I'm going to go DJ. Oh my God, I'm going to go DJ. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know if I had the right song. And I don't know if you want to say attacked, but I was out of my comfort zone. Bang, bang. I had to sell myself that I could do it. See, that's sales. You can do it. You just present what you're trying to get across. Let it be a DJ service or whatever service or a product. You just present it. Some people are going to say no, and some people are going to say yes. But the most important thing, hopefully you get out of this, is that you got to get out of your comfort zone. It's that simple. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You'll never grow. You'll never reach your goals if you don't get out of your comfort zone. I mean, I'm for real. You've got to do it. You got to try it. And if you can't do it, ask someone to help you do it. Now, here's the thing. You can outsource it. All right. I just recently started a business, and I hired a salesperson. I love sales, to be honest with you. I didn't at first. Remember, for a whole week, I was terrified. But now, man, I perform and speak in front of thousands of people. It's like no big deal. I actually enjoy it. I actually get invigorated about it. But the point is, I had to get out of my comfort zone to get to do it. So here's an easy one. You can pay someone to make sales for you. So don't let sales be the reason why you can't own a business, or you can't run one, or you can't buy one, because all these things could happen. Okay. Now, the next thing is that you got to fail forward. There's a book. You should make this one your first book, I guess. I don't know. But it's calling Failing Forward. I haven't read it in about 10 or 15 years, by John C. Maxwell. Another little fun fact about the VanCauwenbergh clan is that my son is named Maxwell James VanCauwenbergh, Bing Bing, my little boy. And we named him after John C. Maxwell. Some folks think because I lived on Maxwell Drive, and that ain't right. That's kind of ludicrous. I wouldn't name my son after the street that I lived on. But it was an impactful time in my life. But was super impactful in my time in my life with John C. Maxwell. Whatever that dude said, I read it and I did it. I read every single book from that man. I mean, maybe I missed about 5 now because I haven't kept up with them because I've moved on. But I can remember vividly, man, I was failing everywhere, losing money everywhere, how to go get a second job, how to do the unthinkable, pawn stuff. But I remember, he's like, if you fail forward, you're in progress. When people hear the word failure, if you're a high-eyed personality or you're an anal detail person, failure is like a criminal word that you got an F on a test and that's your whole society. No. When you fail, you succeed. It's just feedback. FF, failing forward is feedback. F, the 3 Fs. F-U. No, I'm just playing, but listen, go read, go study. You gotta read. I'm telling you, I love WizKids. I donate to WizKids, the profit of the books that I sell. I can't even believe I'm an author. But the deal is, reading has got to me where I'm at. Even reading to this morning is propelling me, is pushing me to heights and levels. Like it would just open my expansion. I read one time that, and I believe it was either Brian Tracy or John Maxwell, you can only operate to your capacity. I'm like, wow, you can only grow to your capacity. He's like, it's a ceiling. So the more books that you read, it opens the doors, or in this case, the ceiling. The next thing is you got to push yourself. And if you can't push yourself, you've got to hire someone to push you. I'm serious. Like, I hired a trainer for a while. It was a great experience. I enjoyed that deal. It definitely brought me to a position that I would never be in before. And that's what you need to do. If it's a sales coach, I know this dude right now. He's incredible. This dude for 16 years was a salesman. And when he decided to get into real estate, everybody was like, that's dumb. This dude had it large. He was making $50,000. He had a free company car, free gas. He had a free laptop and a free phone, and his uncle owned the company. I mean, this dude had it made. He had it made in the shade so much that he lived that lifestyle for 16 years, for real. And he was an okay salesperson. And then him and I, we connected. And him and I, he saw something different. I don't know if it was me, but he saw the light. Maybe it was a book, and he realized he could do more. And so that dude approached me, and he said, yo, I want to get in real estate. And I said, okay, good luck with that. And this dude had fire in his eyes, and he said, can we meet? And I said, if you show up at 7 a.m., I'll meet with you. And sure enough, this dude showed up for a whole week, maybe for several months. And we met every day from 7 to 8. And I just poured into this dude. I just broke this dude down hard. And I just taught him how to profile people. I told him what books to read. And you know what the dude did? He did it. He read the books. I told him to do this, and he did it. And one day he quit his job. And one day he got another mentor. And the next thing you know, everybody laughed at him. And they just ridiculed him. You're going to walk away from that? Aren't you dumb? I mean, his own family. And we talked about the burning bridge. And what did he do? For the first year, he broke even. The cool thing is dad gave him a car. He had to get a cell phone. He had to get a laptop. He had several children he had to take care of. He had a stay-home mom. I mean, I can't imagine what this dude had to go through. First year, bang, dude made 50. Wow. Good job, buddy. Good luck with that. Second year, dude made 120. Bang, bang. Third year, dude's making 350. Bang, bang. If we call that dude up today, and this is what he's going to say, is because of all that this guy, every time I call this, it's all of his coaches. I'm like, this dude pays a G for coaches. I'm like, what? Yeah, man, I got a operations coach. I'm like, operations coach? Yeah, right now he's writing a book right now. He's got a coach to help him write a book. He's got a sales coach. I'm like, this dude, he's got a personal development coach. And he quantified it. As much as he paid in coaches, he got a return. And he also contributes, most of his success was learning how to understand people and learning how to communicate. And the dude was relentless. The guy reads a book a week. I'm telling you, he's going to reach $500,000 and he's going to be outrageous. And one day I'm going to have him on the podcast and he's just going to tell you exactly how to do it. What's so different about him? Let me tell you something. That dude wasn't some super salesman. He was an anal, detailed salesperson. His personality, he had so much fear. He was analysis paralysis, C personality, detailed. He was an order taker. His business card said sales, but he just took orders all day. He wasn't even a salesman. And then he realized, and he got out of his shell, and he got out of a personal development and got into coaching, learning how to be coached to how to speak. And then he went into Toastmasters, and the dude was amazing. You got to push yourself. And if you can't push yourself, get someone to push yourself. This podcast should push yourself. Podcast should push yourself. Listen to the people that motivate you. Eric Thomas pushes me. His albums, E.T. pushes me. I'll read. I'm like, wow, that's right. Do it. Now, real quick, we're going to finish this up. I know this is the longest podcast. Drop the naysayers. It's anybody that says they can't do it. It could be your mom. Put them out. And again, if you can't sell, I'm telling you, so you're doing it right now. You're selling somebody. Just spin it. The world spins on sales. Nothing happens to a salesmate. I want to bring that home. A lot of people think that they have to sell. You can be a good entrepreneur and get the right and buddy up with the right team. Now you may be scared. Man, I'm telling you, everyone is scared. But I noticed that when I used to walk into an environment, I used to be a promoter and I used to be walking to a club, and I'm serious. This is a true story. I was scared. And then I realized one day that everybody's scared. If you ever notice that the popular people are the ones that make the first move. They're the first ones to say, hey, I'm going to run for office. But everyone else is waiting for someone else to make a move. That's just what we're trained in school. So you've got to be the first one to overcome your fear. You approach somebody else. I'm telling you, start going to mixers, going to entrepreneur meetings, going to, real estate club meetings, go to a bank function. I mean, they're having a ton of them right now. Just go to meetings and just walk up to somebody and say, hey, I'm Kayla. Or I'm Scott, or I'm Steven, or whatever it is, and introduce yourself. And next thing you know, they're going to be, what do you do? What do you do? I do this. I do that. And they may not be your friend. They may be like just busy pass card, and you practice and you practice and you practice. And then, man, I'm telling you, when I go to networking events, it's my favorite thing to do these times. But most people are scared, and most people leave a life of desperate, whatever that saying is. I don't know. I'm so tired right now. But the deal is, don't be scared. And remember, they're scared as much as you're scared. Now, another one is that you may not be able to express your emotions, and it's okay. There's someone else out there may not be able to express your emotions, but get with the right people that you can be vulnerable with and say, listen, I love it when hey man, I'm struggling with this. And I would either say this, man, I understand, or I don't. find that type of person. And if the person says, I don't know about that struggle of not expressing your emotions, find someone that can help you. Google it up. And here's a big one. I can't own a business because I can't fire people. Let me tell you something right now. In my world, it is so easy to fire. It is extremely hard to hire because I can continue to hire people that I shouldn't be working for me, and I keep losing. You can actually hire someone, an HR person, to do this for you. I've noticed the most successful people in my world right now are people that I didn't hire. I had to hire someone else to help me find that person. So go outsource it. There's nothing that you can't do. I'm actually testing a business right now that I'm trying to prove. I don't just say it on the radio. I actually try to do something and then talk about it. But right now I've tried to start businesses where I can completely outsource the whole thing. Why not? Why not give it a try? Is it expensive? Is it expensive? Yes. Is it easy? No. Is it out of my comfort zone? Yes. Is there a lot of things I didn't calculate? Oh, yes. Am I losing money? Probably. But you might as well try. The one thing that kept me going to make it this far, what's the worst thing that can happen? I started with nothing. And the only thing I can do is grow. Only thing I can do is go up. There's nothing. I'm telling you, I was homeless. My dad abandoned me. My brother abused me. Now my mom is out, and look where I'm at. I'm thriving because I have the right people around me. I have faith. I have a goal. I have a purpose. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to make other people be better. So find that. So what's your big why behind it? You want to own a business? Yep, we want to own a business to make money. But what you going to do with that money? If you're going to own a business so you can sit on a beach, you'll probably never be successful. But if your intention, Zig Ziglar, bang, bang, if I want to be a millionaire, I need to help other people become a millionaire. If you own a business that provides a great service and that service warrants a good paycheck, and what you do with that paycheck ultimately really matters. Anyway, this is your boy. If this impacted you, I'm sorry it's so long. But hey, if it impacted you, let your boy know.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.